Hi, and welcome back to Old Mac New Life. I like old computers, especially old Macs. I like seeing what I can do with old Macs. So, I'm going to connect the LibreOffice Base database software running in macOS 10 Tiger to a MySQL database server running in macOS 10 Snow Leopard. In short, I'm using MySQL to store data, and using LibreOffice Base to make a more user-friendly way for someone to edit and use that data. Note that the software I'm using here is very old, obviously, but it is still under active development, which means you can get modern versions that work just fine on modern systems. Also, for security reasons, I would never advocate running such an out-of-date version of any database server in an actual production environment, but for development and demonstration, it's fine. Also, the software shown here is cross-platform, meaning it will run on just about any operating system out there: Mac, Windows, Linux, etc. So, here we have a 2007 Mac Mini running macOS 10 10.6 Snow Leopard. If you're curious, it has an Intel Core 2 Duo 1.83 GHz CPU with 3 GB of RAM. I've installed MySQL version 5.1.73 to the Mac Mini. And using the generic text-based MySQL client, I've created a database, a user account, and a few tables. And here we have an early 2005 PowerMac G5. This is going to be the client system. Again, if you're curious, this Mac has dual 2.0 GHz PowerPC G5 processors with 4 GB of RAM. The next step is to download our client software, LibreOffice. So, navigate your web browser to the LibreOffice website and click one of the download links. This takes you to a page to download the latest version, either the absolute latest bleeding edge version or the latest stable version. There is no build for 32-bit PowerPC Macs of either of these, so scroll to the bottom of the page to find a link to an archive containing older versions of LibreOffice. Give it a click. You are presented with a very long list of previous versions, with absolutely no indication of what platform each version is compatible with. I had to dig through this unholy mess, but it looks like version 4.0.6.2 is the final version with a build for PowerPC-based Macs, so click on that link. Click through the links to the correct version, finally arriving at the download link itself. You know what to do. I've moved the downloaded file to my desktop for easy access. The LibreOffice Installer is packaged in a DMG image file, so double-click it to mount it and access its contents. Click and drag the LibreOffice icon into the Applications folder icon to install the software. LibreOffice Base depends on Java for a lot of its functionality. Fortunately, these old versions of macOS seem to have an old version of Java installed. That should go nicely with our old copy of LibreOffice. Next, we're going to need a database driver to enable our LibreOffice client to connect to our MySQL server. LibreOffice uses Java database connectivity technology for this, and this is provided through the MySQL connector J. This driver is written in Java, so you don't really have to worry about the operating system. The download page by default links to the latest version of the driver. I wouldn't be too optimistic about this working with our setup, so click on the link looking for previous GA versions. There are 2 available downloads for this older version of the driver. It's platform independent, so again, don't worry about the operating system. You can download it in either a zip file or a compressed tar archive. Since we're on a Mac, we could choose either one, but for the sake of this example, I'm just going to go with a zip file. You're given the option of logging into or creating an Oracle account. Oracle owns Java. You don't have to do this, so I'm just going to click No Thanks, just start my download. You're given the option of either opening or saving the file. Go ahead and save it. The location of the connector J folder on your system doesn't matter, just as long as you remember where you stashed it. I moved the zip file to the Documents folder. You still need to extract the files from the archive. Under macOS, you can do this by simply double-clicking the zip file, which leaves a folder containing the connector J files. Now we have to tell LibreOffice where to find the Java database connectivity driver. So, fire up LibreOffice and access Preferences. Under Advanced Options, click the Class Path button. Click the Add Archive button. From the File dialog, navigate to the folder you extracted from the downloaded zip file, and select the jar file highlighted in the picture. Click Open. With LibreOffice now aware of the Java database connectivity driver, click OK in the Class Path dialog. The Options dialog sitting in the background can be dismissed with an OK as well. We're now ready to start linking a LibreOffice client to the MySQL server. From your Applications folder, open LibreOffice. In the app's main window, click Database. This launches the Database wizard. Select Connect to an existing database. Make sure MySQL is also selected, then click Next. Select Connect using JDBC, Java Database Connectivity, then click Next. Now we need to tell LibreOffice how to find the MySQL server. Enter the name of the database on the server you want to connect the client to, as well as the IP address of the server machine and the port number the server is listening on. The MySQL JDBC driver class should be left to its default setting. Click Next. Go ahead and enter the username for your MySQL server account. If you password protected this, select Password Required. It's probably a good idea to test the connection, so click Test Connection. If you selected Password Required, you'll be prompted to enter it. So far, so good. You can OK your way out of that dialog, then click Next in the database wizard. Almost done. Leave these at the defaults and click Finish. Okay, time to try it out. Go ahead and open the database file you just saved. If you're prompted for a password, go ahead and enter that. If Tables isn't selected in the list to the left, select that. You should see the same list of tables as you see listed in the generic text-based MySQL client running on the server machine. It works.